Okay, Lisa. You have 5 minutes. What are all the instruments that you have owned, played, or randomly been assigned to?
Randomly, okay. Okay, so I own my flute, my piccolo, my alto flute. I have a fife. It's basically just a souvenir fife, but I did play in a fife and drum corps in undergrad.
Like you do.
Just like piccolo, just no keys. And I own a penny whistle, also just a souvenir, but that's fun to play around with.
Have you ever had to play any of these in concert or asked as a special?
I have not.
Okay.
I've played something that did have penny whistle cues, but I didn't have the penny whistle here. I think it was when we did the Celtic music last.
Okay, so we might...
Or they might have had someone in their ensemble who played it, I'm not sure. But, I have played recorder in an opera.
And recorder is a real instrument.
Yes, not just a student third grade recorder. Like, I think I played soprano and alto recorder.
Wow.
In the opera, in a Monteverdi's Orfeo. That was fun.
Soprano. Okay, so kids, recorder's a real thing.
Yes, and it can sound awesome. It doesn't have to sound squeaky. And they're made of wood and they're nice quality and everything. I've played bass flute and flute choir. I have tried a contra and a subcontra just for fun at a convention.
We'll count it.
Wow. That's super cool.
I think that's 2 actually, contra and subcontra. Okay.
Baroque flute, traverso. I took 2 years of Baroque flute in grad school, and I love that, and I want to own one at some point because I miss playing it. That wraps up the flutes, but I do own a clarinet and a saxophone.
Can you play both of them?
Yes.
Do you like playing both of them?
Yes.
Which one do you like more?
Probably clarinet. Although I own an alto, but my experience really with saxophone is tenor sax and jazz band in middle school because it was related to the flute. The fingerings are almost the same. And I just did it for fun because my teacher was into jazz, and she's not primarily a flute player. She's more like a doubler, but so she plays in an all-ladies jazz band. And she taught me everything I know about jazz. I did jazz etudes on flute and saxophone and clarinet. And,
so do you feel more comfortable like improvising on saxophone because that's kind of your jazz medium, or on flute because that happens to be the instrument you're more comfortable
That is
with?
the one thing I don't like doing, though. I just like jazz as a thing, but I've tried improvising. I don't feel like I'm very convincing. So that's the one territory I need to explore. But the reason I like Baroque music is you can kind of improvise within the music that they wrote by adding ornamentation. So that's the kind of improvisation I do like.
Okay. So you're a secret jazz saxophonist. Okay.
A while ago.
Right. So now we're up to 12 instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Any more instruments in the house?
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
That are mine.
If you had an unlimited bank account for a day, what would you buy next? The Traverso?
The Traverso.
Okay.
Yep.
How
Definitely.
similar is a Baroque flute to an actual?
Basically the only thing that's really similar is the blowing, the embouchure, but that's it. The fingerings are very different. You only have 6 open holes depending on the time period you're talking about, and 1 key, and the pinky key. They just gradually, like every few decades, would add a key.
Which keys can you play in? Like, can you only play in certain
any
keys?
key,
Okay.
but there's certain keys because of the structure of the instrument that sound stronger.
Okay.
And more in tune and just better for the instrument, easier to play. So, like D and G major with sharps were the easiest, which is not what we learn now on our modern flutes. We learn flats first in band, but it's easier to play sharps on Traverso, which is why our things like our Mozart Concerto or all our famous music is in sharp keys. But once you get into more sharps or flats, they start to kind of cover up the timbre, and they have like a spookier, more mysterious quality, which I really love too, playing like a sonata in E flat from that time period is just so cool because you have all these colors to the music. And once I learned traverso and learned all these things about the instrument, now when I play Bach and stuff on flute, I'm like, oh, well, this is way more interesting than I ever thought it was. I used to think Bach was so boring, but it's so cool.
Can you mimic on flute what you have learned on traverso?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not quite to the extent that the traverso instantly does with those fingerings, but you can kind of diffuse your airstream a little bit to make certain notes sound softer or gentler or more wispy or subtle and things like that.
Dude, the more you know. Okay, Lisa, your full episode is coming soon, but guys, my brain is exploding. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.